What is up, my bodyweight warriors, and welcome back to another video. We are in the Garden of Tranquility once again, but it is currently December, so it's actually pretty cold to be out here. Ankle dorsiflexion. So dorsiflexion is the opposite to plantar flexion, where you're pointing your toes forward. You're going to be bringing your toes back towards your knee. This is going to be an important movement for moves like the squat. Often people have a lot of tightness in this position, and you'll see them falling more onto the balls of their feet and maybe even having the heels come off the ground, or requiring them to use Olympic lifting shoes, which are those kind of heel elevated shoes that are going to give you a little bit less requirement for that dorsiflexion range of motion. This can be caused through numerous imbalances in the lower body, but today I'm going to give you a 3-step routine that you can use at home. It's going to require minimal amounts of equipment, and it's going to take less than 10 minutes to do to help bust through any restrictions you have in that dorsiflexion range of motion. In terms of how often you should perform this routine, I really recommend doing it on a daily basis if you have some restriction in this range of motion. However, do it as needed, find that minimum effective dose for yourself. So the first thing we're going to be doing is simply some myofascial release, some soft tissue work on the calf itself. I prefer to use a lacrosse ball for this, but you can use a foam roller as well. There's no real right or wrong way. You kind of just need to move around that musculature of the calf, find any tight spots, and if you find a tight spot, you're simply going to pause on it and you're going to move your ankle in and out of the range of motion. So all the way through to toes pointed plantar flexion and all the way back as far as you can into that dorsiflexion. Do that a few times on each tight spot and then keep rolling around until you find another. You want to spend kind of 1 to 2 minutes per leg just working out any of those knots or tight parts of the muscle. The next exercise we're going to be looking at after that soft tissue work is Emmett Lewis's calf stretching routine from his head to toe tutorial. This is a very simple routine of 3 different positions, each of which he recommends holding for 90 seconds. I would say anywhere as short as 30 seconds will do, but if you want to hold it for the full 90 seconds per position, go ahead, find what works for you. To perform this stretch, we're just going to need to find a ledge, which we can place our foot on the edge, and it's going to make sure that our heel doesn't touch the floor. It's going to need to be higher or lower depending on how bad your ankle dorsiflexion is. So first position is going to be a neutral position in which we have our toes and foot facing completely forward. We're then going to hold that position for the 30 to 90 seconds, rotate our foot out to kind of 30 degrees externally rotated, and then we're going to hold it again for 30 to 90 seconds. Then we're going to internally rotate our leg to kind of 30 degrees the opposite direction and hold that final position for 30 to 90 seconds. Again, repeat on both legs. So after we've done the soft tissue work, we've done the stretching, now I'm going to move on to the final exercise, which is probably going to be the most effective exercise, and that is dorsiflexion bounces. For this exercise, you're going to start in a lunge position with one foot in front, on which you're going to be focusing these bounces on, and the other foot just kneeling behind. We're going to lean as far forward as our dorsiflexion will allow, focusing on keeping that knee in line with the foot. We don't want to let it drop in or drop out. We want to try and keep it in line with our front of our foot, and we want to push it so far that our heel begins to come off the ground. You want it to be sort of 1 to 2 centimeters off the ground. Once we find that position, we are simply going to bounce up and down in that position for 50 repetitions. This is just a simple ballistic stretch for the ankle. We're going to be moving in and out of that very end range of motion with a little bit of force to try and increase and break up any of those tight spots. If you're going to take one exercise away from this particular routine, then I would really recommend just doing the ankle dorsiflexion bounces, because those things are absolutely badass for breaking through that kind of tight restrictive area. But the calf stretches are a nice addition too, because then you have both the exercise with your leg straight in that knee extension position, and then also with your knee flexed in the dorsi bounces. As I said guys, full routine is in the description down below if you didn't get it all in this video. Perform that on a daily basis and I'm sure you will see improvements in your range of motion in that dorsiflexion. But guys, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or any comments about this routine, leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you just enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and leave a like. If you have a friend who really suffers with poor dorsiflexion mobility, then maybe share this video with them. But That has been it for today, guys. Have a strong week and peace.